Hey guys, my name is Alex. I'm from the Doctor Who Guide, and it is just so awesome to be here on the channel. Thank you so much, All Things Doctor Who. If you are not subscribed to All Things Doctor Who, you have got to. You don't want to miss out on any of the awesome content that he's got coming. He's got awesome videos. Definitely subscribe to him. Today, he has asked me to talk a little bit about the 8th Doctor. Now, most of us have seen the 8th Doctor in Doctor Who, the movie. Now, this was a movie that came out in 1996, and it featured Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor. If this movie did well enough in theaters, it was supposed to eventually become a TV series with the 8th Doctor. Unfortunately, that never panned out. It would have been incredible to see what they would have done in the 90s with the 8th Doctor as a TV series, but alas, we never got to see that. So for a lot of Doctor Who fans, the movie is all that they experience with the 8th Doctor, which is really a shame because there's a lot of brilliant characterization that has happened around the 8th Doctor, but this was not his only TV appearance. In 2013, the BBC released an online mini-sode, so it was I think 7 minutes long, and it featured the 8th Doctor, and you can now get that on the Doctor Who Day of the Doctor 50th Anniversary DVD. It's a bonus feature on there, and it's really great to have both of these DVDs and complete your 8th Doctor collection. Well, there is a downside to the fact that the 8th Doctor was only ever in these two pieces of TV. What it did mean was that anybody else who came along with books, with comics, with audios, they had free reign to write the 8th Doctor however they wanted to write him. They didn't have to fit it in with a series continuity. I will be going over the best places to start with the 8th Doctor in the audios and the comics. So first off, like I said, TV, get Doctor Who, the movie, and the 50th anniversary, and you've got the 8th Doctor on DVD. That's all there is to collect. Next up is the world of Big Finish Doctor Who audios. Now, Big Finish is an audio company. They specialize in making audio original full cast stories. They've got brilliant sound editing, brilliant writing. In 2001, they published their first 8th Doctor audiobook. It was the 16th release in the monthly range of Big Finish Doctor Who audiobooks, and it featured the 8th Doctor. It was called Storm Warning. Now, I highly suggest starting with this story. It's the first 8th Doctor audiobook, so it's the original jumping on point of any jumping on point, and it's super cheap. Here in America, it's $3 or £2 in Britain, and that's the way all of the first 50 Big Finish audios are. There are in total 11 8th Doctor audios that are available for £2 or $3, and I totally suggest that you take advantage of those, listen to those. They're really cheap, and you can get a feel for whether or not you're going to like the 8th Doctor. Another place to start would be the 8th Doctor Adventures. After a pretty long stint of appearing in the monthly ranges, right around the same time the TV show was starting up, Big Finish decided to start up the 8th Doctor Audio Adventures. Now, this is a series that ran for 4 seasons, and it is brilliant. They now had a season format so they could have overarching plots, and it was great. The companion is brilliant, like a cross between Rose Tyler and Donna Noble. I will say no more, but that is just awesome. The first episode of season 1 is a 2-parter. It's called Blood of the Daleks. I definitely suggest buying it. It's a brilliant story. Brilliant. It's a brilliant story with the Daleks. I am currently listening through to series 4, and it is just brilliant. The writing is incredible. The third jumping on point I have for you are the box sets. So after the 8th Doctor Adventures, they started putting out 8th Doctor stories in box set format. So that's 4 8th Doctor stories per box set, and generally there was an overarching series of box sets that were 4 box sets long, so you get 16 stories total. Now, the first was Dark Eyes, and I have heard so much magnificent praise for this series. It was just supposed to be absolutely incredible. I highly suggest buying the first Dark Eyes box set, and it's a similar story with Doom Coalition. It is also a jumping on point. I've listened to the first box set. It is just brilliant. You've got some writers that really know what they're doing when it comes to the 8th Doctor and writing Doctor Who for audio only. In review, the best places to start with Big Finish audios. Start off with Storm Warning and the main range 8th Doctor Adventures. They're really cheap, so you're not out a lot of money if it turns out you don't like the audios. Start with the 8th Doctor Adventures if you're really into the new series. Another brilliant place to jump in is the first Dark Eyes box set, as well as the Doom Coalition box set. Those are the 4 major jumping on points that I would suggest anybody start off with for the 8th Doctor. If you are a more visual person and you're like, audio just doesn't do it for me, That is okay, because Doctor Who magazine, while Doctor Who was off the air, took up the character of the Eighth Doctor and ran with it. Now, the brilliant thing about comics as well is that they are not pared down by budget or by continuity, so they can do just about anything with these comics, and you get the visual aspect as well as the great overarching storytelling. I would suggest getting the collected graphic novels put out by Panini. Panini is the only publishing house who has put out Eighth Doctor graphic novels. They put out 4, which cover all of the Eighth Doctor comics. The first one is Endgame. It's a brilliant, gigantic comic. The way they've grouped these comics together is in chronological order, but if there's an overarching story arc, you will find it in each separate volume. Endgame, followed by The Glorious Dead. Now, these are really nice big books. That's just paying like $25 to $30 for this or under. The first 2, Endgame and The Glorious Dead, are in black and white, so that is something to note, just so that you're not surprised. The covers are in color, but the insides are black and white. However, in the 3rd volume, which is Doctor Who Oblivion, the comics are in full color, which is just beautiful to see. Finally, you get Doctor Who The Flood, which is the final 8th Doctor comics volume. It's great. Between the audios and the comics, you kind of get this image in your mind of what maybe that TV series would have looked like. They reference the classic series and the new series all the time in the audios, and then in the comics, of course, they reference the classic series. Another thing to note is that there is an 8th Doctor Adventures book series by the BBC. There are like 70 books in there. I honestly have not read any of these books, but please do comment down below with what books you think are the best to read of the 8th Doctor books. Guys, if you are not subscribed to All Things Doctor Who, definitely subscribe. He's got awesome content. My name is Alex. I'm from the Doctor Who Guide, and make sure you keep expanding your knowledge of all things Doctor Who by subscribing to his channel. Thank you so much. Bye. And if you're in for a really good time, start off with the first Dark Eyes.